So the next presentation is by the Ottawa River Institute as outlined in CMD 18H 2.39. And I understand that Ms. Keetch will make the presentation.
Thank you. I'm Cheryl Keetch. I'm the coordinator for the Ottawa River Institute, and thank you for this opportunity today. I'm here with my colleague Lynn Jones, who is the Secretary-Treasurer of the Ottawa River Institute. The Ottawa River Institute is an incorporated not-for-profit charitable organization based in Renfrew County, Ontario. Our mission is to foster ecological integrity and sustainable communities in the Ottawa River watershed. During our 17-year history, we have worked to promote energy conservation, sustainable energy, increased use of local foods, exploration of natural areas, including our abundant waterways, and an appreciation of our interconnectedness with the environment and all life in the watershed through music and visual art. Our working definition of sustainable communities is communities that live in harmony with their supporting ecosystems, using carefully only those resources that the ecosystem can replace and producing only those wastes that the ecosystem is capable of recycling. We have a number of concerns about the relicensing of the Chalk River Laboratories site. These concerns were outlined in our written submission, and we'd like to highlight and expand on a few of these in this presentation. First and foremost, among our concerns is the large quantity of radioactive waste on site at the Chalk River property, as described in an Ottawa Citizen article from December 19, 2011, entitled A Toxic Legacy. These wastes include waste reactor cores, including one from the partial meltdown in 1952, waste from several decades of plutonium extraction for nuclear weapons, spent fuel rods, and highly radioactive liquid wastes. According to Public Works Canada, the estimated cost of $6 billion for cleaning up these wastes exceeds the total cost of cleaning up more than 2,000 other federal environmental liabilities. Under the Nuclear Legacies Liability Program, progress was made to clean up at Chalk River, but the program was canceled in 2015. The subsequent lack of progress on Canada's most complicated, expensive, and difficult environmental remediation challenge is very concerning to us. We would therefore like to ask that the Commission ask the Minister of Environment and Climate Change to initiate and lead a strategic environmental assessment of the liabilities at the Chalk River Laboratories with a view to determining the best way to address them in a timely and responsible manner. In our written submission, we suggested a panel review under the Canadian Environmental Assessment Act, but have since learned that the stripped-down version of the legislation brought in as part of an omnibus bill by the previous Conservative government no longer makes provision for panel reviews of nuclear projects. Along with many others, we are concerned that the CNSC may be reducing its oversight of the Chalk River Laboratories at a time when increased oversight would appear to be needed because of the accelerated decommissioning activities proposed by CNL. We would like to recommend an extension of the current license for a period of no longer than 18 months, with all current license conditions intact. Any future license changes should increase stringency and reporting requirements. Specific license conditions should be added that would require the construction of state-of-the-art storage facilities for radioactive waste, well away from the Ottawa River, underground in stable rock formations. These license conditions should ensure that long-lived radioactive materials are packaged, labeled, and kept out of the biosphere in retrievable condition. We are very concerned about the licensee's plan to test as many as 7 new small modular reactor designs at the Chalk River Laboratories site. We submit that small modular reactors are not compatible with sustainable development or sustainable communities. Although the nuclear industry likes to promote small modular reactors as carbon-free or emission-free, this is inaccurate. Mining and refining of the reactor fuel requires the burning of significant quantities of fossil fuels, as do the decommissioning and waste management stages of nuclear electricity generation. Worse still, small modular reactors like their larger predecessors would create toxic radioactive waste that would then need to be managed for more than 100,000 years, thus creating an undue burden on future generations. We therefore suggest the Chalk River license site should strictly preclude the development of small modular reactors. In closing, we'd like to thank you for the opportunity to present today. We urge you to overrule your staff's recommendation for a 10-year stripped-down license. In addition, we urge you to maintain strict oversight of the facility and to do what you can to make sure that the nuclear legacy's liabilities there are dealt with within a responsible manner. You can thereby help to protect current and future generations and all life in the Ottawa River watershed. Thank you.
Thank you. Question? Dr. McKeown?
Thank you for the presentation and for the submission. Again, it's a question I've asked before, but you use the term stripped down license, which I think has very clear connotations. Have you listened to or heard any of the ways in which the license is in fact not stripped down, but has been, if you like, modularized or has been created as a series of interacting blocks? Did that give you reassurance that in fact the license and the conditions around the license have in fact not changed, maybe have even provided more clarity in the ability of staff to do oversight of these facilities?
I haven't had an opportunity to listen to all the proceedings. I cannot say that I understand completely the justifications that have been given for the changes.
So again, it might be helpful if we could sort of put on at a standard, one of our regular meetings, a 101 on the license structure and the underpinnings of the license. Would that help, do you think?
That would help me, yes.
The same vein we discussed with the legacy issue here, and I don't know if you caught that when ACL actually explained what happened to the program in the past and how it got transferred, but not eliminated. So I don't know if you were able to listen to this, but I don't know if ACL can help you maybe one more time about what happened to the legacy program.
Shannon Quinn for the record. So the Nuclear Legacy Liability Program, which was run by Natural Resources Canada, was in effect transferred to AECL as part of the entirety of the restructuring of AECL. It was done as a means of consolidating responsibility for all of Canada's radioactive waste liabilities within AECL because it was being set up with that expertise that would be required by the Government of Canada to properly oversee that those liabilities were being addressed. And there was a point made, I think, about concern over, in the move to the GOCO model, that progress has not been made with respect to remediating these liabilities and addressing them. And I would say quite the opposite has happened. So in the 17-18 fiscal year, AECL's appropriations from Parliament were $971 million. $520 million of that is going directly to discharging AECL's radioactive waste liabilities. Now, some of that money does go to addressing liabilities at the other sites, including Whiteshell, but a significant amount of it is going to remediating the Chalk River site specifically, so that Canada is aggressively moving forward to take responsibility for those wastes and to clean them up. And we've heard other examples from Mr. Keeler and others from CNL on specific projects that have been undertaken since the change to the GOCO model.
Lynn Jones, for the record. You may see it as progress, but we question the kinds of things that are being done. They weren't in the preliminary, the comprehensive preliminary decommissioning plan until a few weeks ago, when a new comprehensive decommissioning plan was released. We had to obtain it through, one of our colleagues obtained it through access to information. The main activity of the license applicant recently on the waste management front is the promotion of a very controversial project that's completely out of alignment with international guidance. It was not in the preliminary decommissioning plan that the Atomic Energy of Canada Limited developed. And we just aren't confident at all that there's progress being made. In fact, it seems to us like things are going in reverse.
Question? Dr. Demeter?
Thank you for your presentation. I was just curious, we've had, including yours, 3 interventions dealing with river water associations. So we had Ottawa Riverkeeper and the anglicized Bonnernature or Bonnershare River Water Project. And yourselves, you all have very similar, at some foundation, very similar issues and interests. Do you work with these other groups? Is there sharing of information? It seems sort of divided to have 3 groups having the same agenda.
We do work with the other groups on occasion. One in particular more than the other, the Bonnershire River Watershed Project we have worked with in the past and we continue to work with going forward. And the water is a concern for us all, obviously, and that is our one of our mandates, is to take care of the water as best we can and to protect it. And so that's why there's 3 of us here today. Yeah.
Anything else? Okay, any final thoughts?
Not for myself, but I'd like to invite my colleague Lynn to say something if she wishes to.
I'm surprised you didn't ask about small modular reactors. I know it's out of scope for the meeting, but I was hoping to be
So
able to...
don't raise it, please.
Oh. Okay.
Anything else beside that?
I'm making an intervention tomorrow, so I'll raise some more issues then.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much, and Mark, I believe this is it for tonight. You'll be happy to hear, I think. We will continue, same place, 8:30 tomorrow morning. I will continue with the hearing. Thank you for your patience.